All right, ladies and gentlemen, we've got Hurricane Helene. Now, this is a vicious hurricane. It has affected Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia, and Tennessee. There are 138 people confirmed deceased from the storm, including 40 in one county itself. It is very important to recognize the size and scope of this thing, but in the big picture, Project 2025 actually targets the National Weather Association and NOAA, which is the main two people that give us all the information on hurricanes like Helen that are coming our way. They track it, they gather the facts and all that. All of that is in danger for Project 2025. They're abolishing all that stuff. And in addition to that, we've got $1 billion that Joe Biden has stood up and is sending just to Florida itself. Now, that's directly to Ron DeSantis, who is also trying to get rid of all of these precautions having to do with hurricanes. Now, this hurricane has been really tragic in many ways, like hurricanes always are. But this particular hurricane has taken a huge bite out of these states. And North Carolina had flash flooding through entire towns basically being washed away, and people drowning in their own homes because no one expected the flash flood and a 10-foot storm surge to come down a hill. This is the real deal. This is what global warming has done. And in the same breath as Donald Trump at a rally as the hurricanes impacting the states talks about how global warming doesn't exist and it's all a hoax, he also bragged about how if some of the state gets washed away and everything and the oceans rise, then that would just create more oceanfront property, which is more valuable to the people who own it. So that's a good thing, isn't it? This is how out of touch the Republican Party is with the tragedy of these freaking national disasters. I grew up in New Jersey. I grew up fighting the hurricanes and stuff like that. When I was a kid, I used to have fun in the hurricanes. Wasn't very smart to do, but I was a kid. I didn't know any better. New Jersey is still rebuilding from Hurricane Sandy. This is something that affects hundreds of thousands of people, if not millions of people. And it's looked at as a joke. And these same Republicans that are shitting all over Joe Biden and Kamala Harris and how they don't do anything and, they're worthless and all that, and that are trying to get rid of FEMA, another thing that's on the chopping block with Republicans. They want to get rid of FEMA. They turn around and they say, please, FEMA, help me. Please, President Biden, help me, as they're bashing them as the worst and not helping and everything else. We need to cut this craziness out. People are dying. Entire states are affected by this. Many of them. And it just shows that one party cares and one party does not. The day the hurricane hits, Donald Trump's at a rally in Pennsylvania talking about it just creating more waterfront property. I don't understand it. I don't understand how Republican voters can jump on the side of Ron DeSantis and Donald Trump and bash President Biden and the response of FEMA, and then turn around and have their hand out to both of them. As FEMA's risking their own lives to save people and to help people and to fix problems as best they can, they're being insulted and shit on by the people who need their help. The hypocrisy is ridiculous. There has been untold amounts of billions and billions and billions of dollars in damage. And don't forget a couple of the things that Ron DeSantis did down in Florida since he's been there is he pissed off the insurance companies so much they left the state. So many of these houses that were destroyed aren't insured. So these families have lost everything. with no way of getting it back. That's what he's doing to his own constituents. Donald Trump had the audacity to show up today as North Carolina and Georgia and everybody. Today, he showed up in Georgia in front of a business that was destroyed by the hurricane. And he had the first responders and the police that all of a sudden had to cover him because he decided to do a campaign stop in the middle of a, hurricane relief effort. And he had them build out of bricks from the building behind him that was destroyed in the hurricane, a wall and a podium out of bricks. Build it so he can have a photo op. He did that today. He took the services needed for people who are in their homes, possibly underwater, literally, to build a brick wall so he can stand behind it and it looked pretty in front of a business that was owned by a citizen that lost the business in the hurricane. But he had to make his PR speech pretty. This is the man running for office. This is how much he cares. This is what's going on with the Republican Party during a tragedy. Ask yourself, Republicans, is that the kind of having your back you're hoping to get from the people you elect? Is that the kind of caring? Because I do feel there's a lot of red states that just got their asses kicked by a hurricane. And you could probably use FEMA's help or Joe Biden's help. So do yourselves a favor and stop shitting all over them both. And if you're looking at Project 2025 and what Donald Trump plans on doing if he gets back in office, all those hurricane predictions and all the facts and stuff won't come to you anymore because they want to get rid of those services. So you wake up one day and all of a sudden there's a hurricane down the street. You had no idea. Because the main operations that do that are targets of the Republican Party. Yeah. Oh, don't forget, the Republicans are also still trying to shut down the government in the middle of hurricane relief. Shut down the government, which includes FEMA, the boots on the ground. Right now, they're trying to do that. So yeah, go Republicans. Go right to hell. That's kind of where y'all belong, if that's what you want to do. And if you're bitching about the Democrats and how evil everything is, I think you shouldn't get any help. Kind of like when the wildfires were burning through California and Donald Trump basically said, hold back their funding because they didn't vote for me anyway. What if Biden did that? Would you change your tune about him? Would you think he's as cool as Cheeto Von Shits and Pants? Yeah. That's what I thought. Sending thoughts and prayers to all the Republicans in the storm. To every other one, all the patriots, we'll be right with you. God bless. Stay safe.